Yo, what's up, guys? It's possibly someone else on Chris 86. Um, I'm doing a tier list for Jason, and that's why I have Jason pulled up in the background in CFG. And also, I don't really know any of the new Jasons like super well, because well, half of them just aren't that good, in my opinion. But some of them are okay. So we're gonna run this tier list down. But to start out, I wanted to just talk about the stats and what I think about them. So basically, how I have it is the best strengths and the worst weaknesses are synonymous. So if you have them as a weakness, it's one of the worst. If you have them as a strength, it's one of the best, right? And then in reverse, if it's the best weaknesses are the worst strengths. So if you have them as a strength, that's shit. If you have them as a weakness, that's fine. It's not even really a weakness. And as you can see, it's kind of a disparity where only 3 do not fucking matter at all, which would be sense, stalk, grip strength as a weakness. You'd want them as your weaknesses. And then the worst strengths, you don't want them. You don't need them. And then for strengths, the best strengths and the worst weaknesses, weapon strength, camera run, and shift, knives, morph, rage, endure, HP, water speed, defense, trap, stun resistance in kind of that order. So yeah, we're gonna go through and discuss. So let's go back to the browser. So I found this, and the only reason I'm making this video is because I keep seeing this fucking thread in the CFG server uh, about nerfing or buffing certain Jasons, which is great. I'm glad that people are having discourse on that because I think that a lot of the Jasons in this game do deserve buffing, as well as just Jason in general needs to be buffed because he's weaker than the counselors if the counselors actually, have 2 brain cells to put together. So, we'll just start, with the base game characters. And just to preface this, they did change a few things in CFG, like negative defense, I don't think gives you negative HP anymore. It's just a matter of you get stunned a bit more, whatever, you know what I mean? And then in the inverse is stun resistance. I don't know if you get more HP though. Maybe. But they don't have an HP bar, so I can't really tell. So anyway, we're gonna just kick it off with the best Jason in the game. It's part 3. Part 3 is the best Jason in the game because he has 2 of the best strengths in the game and basically 0 weaknesses. Stun resistance is there, but it's so low on that list that I made that it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? And grip strength doesn't matter because he has a neutral shift, neutral morph, and neutral rage, right? So as long as he plays his cards right, he also has neutral traps, starts with knives. Like he has no bad weaknesses realistically, because stun resistance isn't even that detrimental, and he has 2 of the best strengths in the game, right? So, and the reason Ken Run is such an insanely good strength is because Jason moves around about 7 speed, 7.5, around there. It's been a while since I've tested shit like that, but he can catch up to a majority of the cast. You know what I mean? There's only realistically like 4-ish counselors that can out jog him, maybe even 3. You know what I mean? The ones that are my mind are Vanessa, Chad, Bugsy, and even Bugsy can get knife grabbed because you're Ken Run, so you can cut him off on an angle, and if he's not paying attention, you just knife him, grab him, because it just staggers him so that you can close that gap. Right, so that's why that is a thing, because most walking Jasons aren't that good. You kind of need plus shift to make up for it, or some other positive to make up for it in that way. But speaking of plus shift, the next best Jason in the game is going to be Savini. And Savini doesn't even really have bad stats either. He is just as good as part 3, if not slightly better. But his real weakness is that he is a walker and that he has minus water speed, which doesn't realistically matter, but he has a really good weakness in grip strength, and he has 2 of the best strengths in the game as well. Weapon strength plus shift. Top 3 in the game are plus shift, weapon strength, can run in no particular order. And destruction's nice, you know what I mean? You can't double tap in this game, so destruction definitely helps out a lot. But that's where Savini goes. And now we can just start going down the list. And I don't really kind of have to look at things until I get towards this side of the list, really. So the next person I'd say after these guys is gonna be like probably part five, honestly, at this point. Because he's a Ken Run plus knives. Um, and he doesn't really have any bad weaknesses either. I think he has the same weaknesses as fucking part three, if I'm not mistaken, or like similar weaknesses. Yeah, and since negative defense doesn't even fucking matter anymore, that's cool. You know what I mean? That's fine. And I mean, yeah, he's not weapon strength, but throwing knives is also very good. And running Jasons just automatically kind of have an edge because they're already faster than half the cast. That's just my perception on things realistically. And from what I've seen playing the game for fucking years and years. So the next Jason I think would go after this. It's probably. Hmm. I want to go with Dream Jason here, honestly, because he is decent shit. He is plus morph, weapon strength, and then his only bad weaknesses is traps and low HP. But we're assuming that you're playing host with most of these Jasons, and if you're not playing host on most of these Jasons, then like you probably want to be playing these two, unless you just want to have fun. Like if you want to win, you just play these two. But if you want to have fun or try a little harder to win, then you can kind of move around this area. Um, hmm, so stupid. I have like two builds stuck in my head. So and they're all different stats, dude. It sucks. Um, shit. Let's just go to the worst Jasons in the game, realistically, because McFarland is terrible. He's just a bad Jason. Because if you look at his strengths, they don't matter. He's just a glorified walking tank. This is the only good strength he has, and then he has awful weaknesses. He has three terrible weaknesses. That's not something you want. You don't ever want three bad weaknesses in a row. You know what I mean? So, and if the rage charges slower, like people don't realize how bad negative rage is. Well, I'm sure some people do, but what I really think is they don't think how good plus rage is. Plus rage is really broken, actually. It's pretty good, but negative rage is just as detrimental because like when you get into rage, you get the cooldown reduction. You know what I mean? You also get endure. I hate that ability, but you get it. Um, but yeah, the cooldown reduction is realistically what you need, especially if you have neutral abilities like neutral morph, neutral shift in particular, because those are going to be your strongest abilities in the game, right? It's like your sense is good; it has its purpose, and so does stock. But realistically, you're going to be for the majority of the game morph shifting all around the map. You'll use stock here and there, and then you'll use sense just to track people, and you can also track people from the ping noise bubbles that they make, depending on what counselors they play and what their stealth stat is. But the stealth stat basically doesn't exist because sense is achieved in like the first couple like 45 seconds of the game. It doesn't even matter. So, but anyway, worst Jason in the game, 100%, absolutely awful. After that, I'd say like I don't know if 2017 is still shit, but I do remember him being shit. Let's look at him again. Yeah, he has. I mean, he has negative endure, which honestly in this build is you kind of want it. Like you want to have a neutral or plus endure, especially if you play off host. He doesn't really have that good of strengths. He just has plus morph. Plus defense is okay. Plus stock just is a nothing burger. Good negative in sense, but bad negative and can't run and negative endure. I just want to look at this guy real fast because they're rather similar. I'd say just inverse. One's plus endure, plus rage. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, it's really. I think it's just gonna be him because the rest of the new ones don't have terrible weaknesses really. Yeah, no. It's just gonna be this guy, man. I keep doing that out of habit. But yeah, I think that 2017 is like D tier. Part 8 is also D tier. He's just not that good. I never thought he was. It's better than Is he better than 2017? Kind of better. I mean, he's plus morph though, but he's negative endure, and endure is as stupid as it is. It's kind of necessary. But yeah, that kind of helps me have an easier placement on the stuff in the future. Okay, so let's figure out what I want to do here. Okay, so yeah, I do want to put Dream in A tier. I also want to put FBJ around A tier, as well as P7 and P4. I just want to like kind of mess with this right now because these are like your weapon strength Jasons. I'm pretty sure these are the only ones, and then Uber Jason as well. These are all the weapon strengths, right? So this is plus morph weapon strength. What is this guy? As you can tell, I have barely played most of these Jasons. Yeah, this is, God, he is actually decent. The more HP is actually nice. Weapon strength, more HP, and then we also have part 7, which actually is insane in this. Like, plus rage and plus weapon strength is broken. And then he has plus water speed, which is nice, so you can contest the boat. Negative traps kind of sucks, but it's not terrible. Oops. Where am I? Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. And then what else do we want? Part 4. It's kind of weak. This guy is negative morph, so he's a little bit on the weaker side, but he's plus defense. Plus morph, plus rage, I'd say better than HP. He's a runner, but he has a shitty shift. You know what I mean? Like let's just analyze this one real fast. So he has 2 of the best ones, but he also has one of the absolute worst negative. And then he can't go after the boat really effectively. And I mean, traps doesn't necessarily matter if you have good macro. Like, traps are obviously necessary, but if you're good at the game, you don't necessarily need traps all the time. What you do need is shift, though. Like, shift is extraordinarily important, which is why that sucks, but he has destruction. I don't even know if I'd put him over FVJ, honestly. Just because of neutral shift. You know what I mean? Over Uber, though. What is Uber rocking? Yeah, actually, I'd put Uber over him because as much as Can Run is a strong stat, negative shift is such a detrimental stat, dude. It's so bad. Speaking of negative shift, part 2, I'm probably gonna put him in D tier because he's not terrible. He has traps to make up for a shitty shift. You know what I mean? So that's okay, but and also he doesn't have a negative mask anymore, so that's actually kind of working out for him in that way. If anything, I might even just do like that because he's not even that bad anymore, truthfully. Part 6 is also not terrible, and I think I'm gonna move some of the people down, my negative morph fellas, and then just part 4, you know, kind of just getting the short end of the stick with a negative shift. These guys don't really have many bad negatives, I'd say. Ghost Jason's actually not too bad. I actually might put him in A tier. I do remember Ghost Jason being pretty fucking good. Let me look at his negatives though. Yeah, he has like 0 bad negatives and he has plus morph plus knives. He's actually not too bad. He's not better than FVJ in my opinion, but he's pretty good, you know what I mean? But let me look at FVJ just to be sure. Okay. I don't know. I think I'd still go with FVJ just because of the more HP, honestly. Not that that's going to really do much for you, I guess, but like, I don't know. I don't require traps. I don't think if you play the game to a high level or just sweaty at all that you would require the traps like that. You just gotta really focus on getting your kills. You know what I mean? Part 5 can run, so he has the pressure all game. All runners do. But some runners are worse than others because they just don't have good negative or good positives or like good negatives. You know what I mean? Okay, so part 9. Part 9 actually is kind of pretty good, dude. I'd say he's like B tier these days. Which he kind of always sat in B tier. Yeah, plus yeah, he doesn't have like the worst. He just has a really good strength, a decent strength. Which honestly, I'm gonna be so honest with you. Plus stun resistance with less hit points is awful. So remember when I was saying he's B tier, or at least he should be in B tier. Now that stun resistance works, I'm not even quite sure I want to be playing him too much. But also like you're on host, so like it shouldn't matter. I think part 6 is better though. But they're like neck and neck. They can really be interchangeable. You know what I mean? I think part 6 is slightly better. Slightly. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say with these two. But I've always seen them as very similar. Okay, now we have like the Jasons that I basically know very little about. I do know that Reboot's actually kind of good though. Reboot's kind of not kind of nice with it. Yeah, I mean look at those, not that one. Look at those. Plus traps. Plus trap. And he's basically no weaknesses. I mean water speed's it's whatever, but the reason I don't really care about water speed as a weakness is because you will essentially always be able to, you know, do something. Honestly, he's fucking like A tier, truthfully. Might be better than Ghost. Might be. Yeah, honestly. Is he better than FEJ though? I don't know. Mm, I don't know. I don't think he is because he doesn't have weapon strength. Weapon strength's just so strong. The reason I put him up for Ghost is because he's a runner and he has traps. Ghost is just a walker. Plus morph, but this guy has plus fucking rage, so he gets essentially a bootlegged plus morph the more you fucking beat his ass, right? Or like the longer the game progresses and people like keep hurting him, right? So it's like you don't want that shit. All right, pre-Uber. Pre-Uber, bro. Let's see. He's so mediocre. He's just got like nothing going for him. He's like he's probably another C tier, honestly. You know what I mean? And we'll clean this up in here in a sec. I'll probably move some people down. Um is part 2 better than him? Yeah. Kind of. Kinda. They're like the same. Sorta kinda. Like he's just a nothing burger, dude. That's literally what he is. You know what I mean? MKX. Plus rage plus endure can run negative knives. But he's plus rage. And plus endure, which is like an obnoxious combo. And you can always get knives, you know what I mean? He's negative traps, but I've already made it clear that negative traps doesn't fucking matter. I'd say he's probably better than like P9. Probably better than parts. It's probably better than part 4, which is fucking crazy. Because like, despite weapon strength being strong, like as I've said before, negative shift is so detrimental. You know what I mean? Hence why he's down here. Only thing is carrying him really is the can run shit. You know what I mean? And honestly, might just throw part 4 there. Although he is his positive and negative like make him worse, which is crazy to say. All right, and then lastly, Nicotero. Less hit points is bad, but this one doesn't really matter. This one's whatever. Yeah, less hit points plus stun resistance. He's just not good. Plus Morph can run though. Not too bad, not too bad. He's could be worse, but he's in the same vein as part 6. You know what I mean? Or part 9. Sorry, I'm getting those two mixed up now. Let's see. Do I have any kind of reservations, or do I feel like I want to switch some things around? I want to see Dream real fast. Dream one more time. Okay. Okay. Let me go part 7. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that placement. So yeah, this is pretty much the tier list. Sorry that this was so, like, all over the fucking place. That's just who I am, really. I honestly think that most of the Jasons are just kind of mediocre. You know what I mean? And I would even go so far as to just be like this, right? So, pains me to put him down there, bro, but he's suffering the same thing, the stun resistance, negative HP. You know what I mean? I think this is probably good right here. You know what I mean? If I had to move anyone else down, it would be Ghost right here. But I think Ghost is actually pretty good. I think that there's a lot more good Jason. Well, there's a lot more variety in the good Jasons, and I think that the good Jasons really stop at Uber and really part 6. You know what I mean? Part 4 is where it starts to fall off. So yeah, disregard what I said. Part 6 is where after part 6, part 4 is where it starts to fall off, and even then, they're not that bad. I'd say, like, you know, they're manageable. You just have to actually, like, be better at the game. And honestly, I think I am gonna throw him one lower. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. This is what I think. And you know, I don't think any of the Jasons need to be nerfed. I think the Jasons that are bad need to be buffed. So all of these Jasons from over here need to be buffed. This whole list of Jasons need to be buffed. Part 4 also needs to be buffed as well. But everything at part 6 and up is fine. MKX needs a buff even though he's kind of good right now, but that's only because Endure is broken. Endure is really dumb, and that's a topic for another video. But hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, wherever you're at in the world. And I'll see you next time. Be good people.